Cool. There's two meeting presenters.
Hello,
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing well. Not sure why, but every time I thought I had made sure to not set this machine up as meeting presenter, but apparently I did. Every time I connect, it says, "Do you want to take over?"
Oh, neat.
Oh, and it says I'm meeting presenter. What the heck?
Yeah, that's what I said. Guess what? There's two meeting presenters. I don't know.
Um,
I really don't. I don't have a clue. You look like you're working today.
I'm at work. Um, I'm in this building.
Working is a stretch, is it?
Yeah, today was, I needn't have really come in at all.
Oh, well, you know.
Hold on, let me turn up the light here. So I was digging around in a bunch of junk here at work today. Found some things that you may appreciate. Oh, I'm backwards. Whatever. Intel Fortran compiler for
Fortran.
Windows 98, NT, or 2000.
Wow. You know who would enjoy Fortran? Probably Vicente.
Really?
Yeah, I think he probably was into that.
Yeah. Another relic from a bygone era. The CD case.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
This one, an official Napster CD case. Because why not?
And and how much music is there?
Oh, none of it's music. It's
Oh,
all official discs. And the last one, this one Vicente would probably also appreciate. The full professional kit, Borland Delphi.
mm.
I cut my teeth on this. This was $1,000 worth of software in 1998, also for Windows 2098 or NT. So
I
I guess
uh
2004.
I remember Delphi. I don't remember ever using it. I remember it coming out.
It was based on Fortran. Actually, I think it might have been written in Fortran, and it was early stuff for doing database queries, sort of.
Yeah,
It did more than that, but it
well,
was,
that's why I kind of remember it was like an early MySQL or something. And
well, it wasn't the database itself. It was kind of an AI query engine against another database.
against the database.
Yeah.
Neat.
Unfortunately, it's all Windows stuff.
Well, I you know I got the new printer,
Yep.
three of them, because I'm crazy.
Good
But
price.
the uh, the thing that actually finally sold it was Anycubic. Um, they don't officially support Linux, but they did release a profile for the Akla Okra slicer.
Okay.
Um,
Kira.
No, not Kira. Um, Hang on. I will tell you. ORCA.
Okay.
And I guess
Orca.
Orca. Okay. Well, that would explain why there's a giant orca for the icon. Um, I guess that's based on the Persa slicer or the Prusa
Hmm.
slicer, and it's also what the uh, bamboo slicer is based on.
Hmm.
So, of course, neither one of those two slicers wanted to take the profile, so they've done something to change the profile. But the Orca slicer works really well. So,
Cool.
um, and of course, it is supported with Linux. So that was what finally sold it. I was like, yep, I'm getting that printer.
The Prusa, it's pretty easy to set up for other stuff. Um, and you can copy a config off of Windows to a Linux box, and I
Yeah.
assume the other direction. That's nice.
I was kind of surprised because it seems to me like they're all based on the same thing.
Hmm.
They're all within that world that none of them wanted to take the profile that Anycubic gave is specific for Orca, and the other two didn't want to take it. But I mean, as far as I can tell, Orca is almost identical to what Bamboo has. So
Yeah.
I,
Yeah, they're
I
all pretty similar.
yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
pretty certain that the Prusa one is based on Orca as well.
yeah. They all, from what I could tell from playing around with them a little bit before I found the Orca, um, they all look and act pretty much identical. I
Hmm.
mean, when you get into that range of printers, they're all it all seems to be the
Yeah.
same thing. I mean, Cura, I'm using Cura for the Ender and the Wanhu, and then the Flashboard has to use the Flashboard software. Nothing else. It doesn't support anything else. But there's uh, Linux Flashboard software, so it doesn't matter.
I think they've stopped doing that. I think the current FlashForge software is the last that'll be done for Linux.
It may be.
I
Um,
read something about that recently.
I Orca does have some flash forward printers, but it doesn't support my printer, of course.
Yeah.
So maybe I could export the profile and import it. I don't know. Um, I mean, eventually I'm probably going to have to get rid of that flash forge anyway because it's big and it's slow. So, you
How
know,
big?
the print bed itself is small.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
Yeah, it's like it's about the size of that mini. It might be a little bit bigger than that mini.
Okay.
Um, but it's a dual head printer and it's an enclosed printer.
Hmm.
And it does not need to be as big as it is because um they put the um filament rolls inside the printer.
No,
So
nice. Keeps them dry.
yeah, well, if it would if I could stick the lid on it, it probably would.
No.
Um, it also takes uh the small rolls, the 500 gram rolls,
Hmm.
not the
Half
kilogram roll.
kilo, not two.
So those rolls are kind of hard to find unless you buy them from China or somewhere.
or print them.
Yeah, I guess I could re spool, but I printed a external spool holder for it. Um, and so with the external spool holder, you can't really have the lid on it, but it works fairly well because I can use standard size spools. So it doesn't really care what size spool you feed through it. It, it's the material. It actually supports a ton of material. I was surprised. It supports a lot of stuff, TPU and all kinds of stuff natively. It said wood, I believe, and something else. There was just a bunch of stuff that it supports natively. But it's a slow printer and it's a small print bed and it takes up a lot of room because it's big because you basically have, you know,
A box.
a box and
Yeah.
um
When I was still at the law firm, when Parker and I got the Prusa printer, we wanted to put it in a box just because it works so much better. And then we installed a printer somewhere, I forget what, but a good sized Xerox. And the box exactly fit underneath the counters in the room we were in. So we cut that box apart and left the little plastic locks that you needed to open and close it, put a light in there and a camera. We could run that. It was like a 3 layer thick cardboard box. So nice and quiet. We could run that thing while our boss was standing in the room and he didn't hear it. We had that printer set up for over a year because neither one of us wanted really to take it home
right.
because then the other one wouldn't have access to it. And well, shoot, why not just leave it at work? And we were using it for some work stuff. We printed some little holders for, um, like Raspberry Pi 4s and those real heavy aluminum uh, heatsink cases I had. We had those in a bunch of cubes held with, I don't know if, I don't know what they're called, but it's basically an M-shaped straight pin that's sharp on both ends, and they're designed for hanging stuff on cube walls. And
Oh
so
yeah, yeah, yeah.
we embedded those pins in a plastic holder. So all the cables came out the bottom with strain reliefs, and it just hung on the cube wall. And we had quite a few people at the law firm that were using Raspberry Pis as desktops, well, as diskless workstations. Um, we had one guy that had a Dell on one of the snap down. Um, oh shoot, I'm sorry, the word just escapes me. The port expander that Dell's had that. So on the older Dells, there was a PCI port on
Hmm.
the bottom of the laptop, and it would snap down onto a desktop adapter that had your monitors and stuff plugged into it. And we had one guy that kept sliding that thing around on his desk and he'd unplug it and then it would run down the battery in the laptop in like 3 minutes because it was power and all sorts of other stuff. So we made a, a cord holder that kept everything connected and tight. It was actually fun having that there.
Yeah. Well, I am I am super impressed with this Cobra. It's fast and the setup was a breeze. I mean, it even did. I shared a screenshot with you of the resident
Hmm.
frequency test. Shook the entire damn house. I'm sure somebody downstairs was thinking, "Are we under an earthquake?" But yeah, I mean, I uh I moved it from where I had it to somewhere else. It's an interesting printer. It doesn't auto level each time. It saves its configuration.
Hmm.
It goes and it checks a couple of spots to make sure that those two spots are still level. And if they're not, it will go ahead and resense.
Yeah.
Um, but if it saves time by checking a couple of spots. Now, I just, since I moved it, I tried to print something and it failed. Uh, it was pretty obvious that it failed, um, or it was going to fail. Um, the first layer didn't stick, so I went ahead and told it to auto level again, and now it's fine. It didn't seem to affect it one little bit. So it's an interesting printer though, and it's I can't believe how fast this stupid thing is. I mean, I was expecting it to be better and faster. I just
Hmm.
wasn't expecting. I printed. I don't have them with me. The grandkids came. I printed some larger dragons.
Hmm.
It took 6 hours on the small printer or the other printer for smaller dragons to print. I printed them on this 3 hours, and they're bigger dragons.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. I you want dragons? I could do dragons, and it won't take me all day to do them. But it's actually kind of interesting how much more just that extra. I mean the Ender is 220 by 220. It's kind of amazing how much more 250 by 250 really is.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't sound like a lot more, but it really is a lot.
Yeah.
So,
I was playing with the slicer and setting up a rep printer with a 225 by 500 millimeter bed is 2 minutes work. It's really, really easy. And I'd really like to build something that size because it just turns out that a standard keyboard is 200 by 440 millimeters ish. And I don't know, 30 millimeters high.
but
So that's the build envelope I want. That's why I was asking if you wanted to sell the Creality, the Ender that you got from Ray. You now have a plethora of printers, and that one's probably slower than what you just got. And I think
well,
I can glue two of them together pretty easily.
I would need I got I got $50 invested in the base unit, and I've got $20 in the self-leveling kit.
Hmm.
So I'd need to get like $70 out of it.
Okay,
All right.
that's no problem.
And that'll satisfy Patty. She wants me to start getting rid of some of these.
Yep.
I thought you were asking about the other new printers that I got, and they're not really any bigger than anything else. So
No, no, no. I want a matched pair just so that I got spare bits if I need them. And I was seriously considering if you put two print heads on one boom, you run separate colors in them or something. That seems like that would be relatively easy to do because I wasn't planning on removing either of the controller boards because it's effectively going to have two print beds.
Two
And
print beds, yeah. Um, the Flash Forge is a dual head.
mhm,
And the problem when you level it with one head first, and then you go back and you refocus on the other head.
mhm,
And then you have to go back and check the first head again to make sure
mhm,
everything it once it's set, it's fine, but it took probably 2 hours to get that bed, and it's a tiny bed. It took me forever because even a small little adjustment wrong will cause one of the heads to crash.
right. The two heads have to be at the same height within a couple thousandths of an inch at the
Yeah,
most.
it's really, really picky. So
So they didn't give you any little thumb screws or anything to adjust that height. It's just loosen it and wiggle it and tighten it back up.
it's basically the same procedure that you go through with like the enders or a single head
Hmm.
piece of paper and sticking it and making sure it's basically the same procedure with an extra there's an extra little step in there, but it instead of four screws, there's three thumb screws on it. So
Hmm.
it's a triangle pattern instead of a
Yeah, that's rough.
yeah. Now, I just know about this one. I mean, this one was a pain. So maybe one with a square bed might actually be better or
Yeah.
easier. But
Well, I had been thinking if I can glue two of these enders together, I'm going to keep all eight of the adjustments because at that point the bed becomes pretty flexible.
mhm.
Um, but
Have have you
the
looked
only
at
expensive thing I think I'd need to buy is a big sheet of glass because they claim that that's some fancy kind of glass. I don't know if I believe that or not, but I got a friend that works at Frank's Glass up in Fairfield, and I think he can cover me.
yeah, I don't know if the glass is really I mean, I guess it's heat sensitive, but I don't know if it's really anything special.
Yeah.
Um Heat treated or whatever. But have you looked at like the Creality CR10s?
No.
Um they've got it's a single print head, but its its bed is expandable. Its bed actually is um it's like a treadmill.
Oh, neat.
The print head sits at an angle at like a 45-degree angle,
Hmm.
and I I've never seen one work, but they look interesting and they are supposed to be able to do very large prints because you could just treadmill stuff through it.
That's not what I'm seeing.
Yeah,
Not for the CR10, though they're 370 bucks.
pretty sure that it was the CR10. Let me look. Let me see if I messed up the number. Oh, United States. I am in the United States. CR printers. CR30. Sorry. It ain't cheap. But that might give you an idea. I mean, if you could make like a treadmill kind of deal.
Yeah, but that still won't do one large print. You're limited to the size of that treadmill.
I don't know. The one I saw on video, it was printing and there was another like a little table that you had on the end and it would push.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. Hmm.
So it's not I don't think it's limited to that size. I think it's printing from the back and pushing stuff forward.
Mhm. Yeah, put some rollers in front of it to catch the off feed.
Catch the yeah. So you want to print a keyboard case or whatever, it falls off the edge. I don't know, something to consider. I think I think Prussia can't say their name. I think they made something that was like that too.
Yeah, but it would have been really, really expensive for
Really,
them.
really expensive. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I really like the Pressa. It is fast, it's quiet, it's well supported. I can get any part for it I need. But holy cow, that thing was expensive. We
yeah,
we dumped $800 on that,
yeah,
and it can be replaced now for 150 bucks.
or less.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, and you look at like some of this new technology that's coming out. You know, you single print head in 4 colors, 8 colors, 16 colors. It's crazy,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
all for around. I mean, another color box will cost as much as the printer did,
Hmm.
but all for around the $400 mark for the basic kits.
Yeah, we got the MMU multi-material unit add-on, and I think it does 5 colors, maybe four. I don't know. I hate it. It doesn't work well. It's finicky. I'm getting ready to remove it from the Pressa just because it is such a pain in the posterior.
Mm, well, I mean, I watched 3 or 4 different videos about this Anycubic, and it seems like it's works well for for it. Of course, it was
Hmm.
kind of designed to use it, which it's kind of designed for it. So,
It
um,
wastes a lot of material on the Pressa.
it wastes a lot of material just in general. Of course, that's true with the flash forge too. Do I have one? No, Patty has the cube. I printed a Hubert cube or a Helbert cube,
Hmm.
2-color cube. The um wiping wall was as big as the cube.
Yep.
And um I mean neat. Don't really see any real point. My the thing was the combo was cheaper to buy the combo than it was to buy just the printer and then maybe later go back and buy the multi, you know,
Yeah.
the multi box. So That's
I
why
think
I bought the combo drive more than the fact that I'm printing multiple colors. It's well, that was cheaper to do it that way.
I the only thing I ever use multiple colors for is like clear, where I want an LED to shine through something.
Hmm.
And I just gave up on that. I just drill a hole afterwards and put a piece of clear filament in it, clip it off on both ends, and I'm done. It
Done. Yeah.
it takes less time, it wastes less filament. And clear filament actually makes a pretty decent light pipe. So you can come through the shell in one spot, but not have the LED under it. You can move the filament wherever you want. So yeah,
I never thought about using clear as a light pipe. That's a good light pipe.
it ain't great, but it's
Good enough.
yeah. Especially if you drill a hole into the top of the LED. If you use 4 or 5 millimeter LEDs, you can drill a 1 3/4 inch hole in it, and you just poke the end of the filament in there, put a drop of super glue on it. Looks pretty good.
Well, I'm you know, I've been I printed those dragons for the grandkid, and
Mhm.
we bought rainbow filament, which is just it's a little softer than PLA, but it's PLA. And if you really want multicolors and you don't really care what the multicolors are,
Yep.
it works pretty well. Of course, the middle kid, she's going to go and buy me some filament. She wants um a Pittsburgh Steelers thing for her Stanley Cup. And of course, she wants it black and yellow.
Mhm.
So I said, well, this is a good time to test the multicolor of, because I know the Flash Forge would do it, but might as well test the multicolor box for the Anycubic. So
Okay, so I know nothing about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, there's 4 colors in that: black, yellow, red, and blue.
hmm. Well, she just said black and yellow. So now I did tell her, I said, if you're going to do it, because I always want to get a bonus, I wanted some clear and I wanted some burgundy. So if she
Mhm.
could find burgundy, maybe we could make three color
Yeah,
Pittsburgh Steeler for. But it would be a good test for the multi box. See if it can do it. Just see how much filament gets wasted. But I'm super impressed with this printer. This thing was incredibly simple. It looks complicated when you first look at it, and then you go, wait, there's four screws. There's two more screws holding the wire in, and there's a wire hose clamp to keep the PFE line from snagging on something. It's a piece of cake. It's super simple to install, and then when you first turn it on, it runs through a bunch of self tests, and there's no real way to stop it, and you probably don't want to stop it from doing the self tests because
right.
that's when it was doing the resonance test and the self leveling test and just a bunch of different things. Um, and then it the only real problem I had was there's four holes in the uh extruder for the four different colors that it could have.
Mhm.
And it wasn't real clear from the instructions which hole is hole one.
No. Okay.
So when I first loaded it up with a single filament, I had it going into the wrong hole, and I
Oopsies.
could not get it to extrude. And I'm like, okay, I've just put it in the in the wrong spot. I mean, that's what it's got to be, right? So it took me a few minutes to figure that one out. And I'm still not real sure if it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, or if it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, or if it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not real sure how it's counting
Hmm.
the holes, but I
I
suppose
mean, put in four different colors of filament.
and print four different tell it to print all four
Yeah.
colors and see which color comes out.
Black, white, red, and blue.
Yep. I mean that's pretty much.
Or black, yellow, red, and blue.
And if it doesn't match the order that I think it should, I move tubes around. But
And label it.
well, I know where number one is, so number one should be good. I just it's not clear, and I've read the little instruction manual like 4 times, and I'm going. All they say is be sure to plug the colors into the correct hole, and I'm like, tell me what the correct hole is.
Maybe it's from a picture where they show the
Uh,
coming from the top of the frame down. That was one of the things I didn't like about the Pressa. There were a lot of things that were read the words here, but compare it to the picture there.
Look at the picture. Yeah, really the only they show really good pictures of the connecting cables, but they don't show such a good picture of the print head. This is as close as you get, and I don't even know if you could see it.
Yeah. Huh.
That's as close as you get to. And as you can tell, or maybe you can't, it's really not clear which one is number one.
Right.
They're just showing the top stalk of the print head. They're not showing the front of the print head. I guess I guess if you look really kind of it's still not clear. It's still not I knew it was one of the two. I just didn't know which one.
Yeah.
And I guessed wrong.
Like USB takes 3 tries.
The right way, the wrong way, and the right way. I was super I it's got USB-C. USB-C is controlling the print head.
I'm wondering if it's communicating in USB-C or if it just uses that connector. Is that the power for the printhead too? For the heater?
It
Ooh,
has to be. It's the only cable plugged into it.
yeah, they're pushing 120 watts through USB-C, which I totally disagree with, but oh well. I get a
Now,
cool USB-C thing.
to be fair on this USB-C cable, it is not like any USB-C cable I have ever seen. It's actually a fairly uh thick cable.
Mhm.
It's actually um got screw down connectors so that you actually screw it in into place. It's it's a fairly good USB-C cable. It's just I was shocked that it was USB-C.
Well, I mean, you do the PD power delivery stuff on it, and it just raises the voltage enough that it gets safer, I guess.
It I I don't it seems to me like there is more of a computer in this printer than there is the other printer. The other printers, just have like a control board.
Hmm.
This thing seems to act like an act. You plug a USB drive in, it goes through the little thing, it goes bing bing, like it acknowledged the fact that there's a drive plugged into it. You can unplug it. You hit a little button, tell it that you want to done. It's hot swappable. So it seems to me like maybe there might be a little Linux box in there running.
Well, I'm
Maybe.
sure there is. Doesn't
Uh,
take much.
but I'm guessing I it's just a guess that USB-C cable there's a microcontroller inside that print head. The print head's pretty large and it's kind of behind a black box. You can't really see what's going on in there. So my guess is there's a microcontroller in there and it's talking to it over serial.
Hmm. I got a cool toy. There's a project HID Remapper. So this is a hey Ray, this is a 4-port USB hub with two RP 2040s on it.
Okay.
It's USB-C going to the computer, and then you can plug 4 things into it. You can plug a standard keyboard into it and tell it that when you hit the pause key, it activates a layer, and that layer can have macros, and it does everything that a programmable keyboard does. But it does other stuff too. You can tell it that when you hit the pause key on the keyboard, that moving the mouse generates a scroll,
Okay.
or clicking the middle button on the mouse is what switches your layers, or you can do a tap hold on the mouse that switches the layers on a standard keyboard. This does everything that my programmable keyboards do in a little 4-port hub.
Interesting.
Now all I've got to do is figure out how to program the initial RP 2040s, because it's easy to program one of them, but then you use an on the go cable to program the other one. And I haven't figured out how to do that yet. On the page for the guy that made it, and I ordered it from JLPCB or
Hmm.
whatever, um, and to make it even anywhere near cheap, I ordered 6 of them. So if you want one of these things, let me know. They came out at about $16 a piece at that point.
Wow.
Well, I mean, for a 4-port hub, that's not outrageous.
Not horrible.
Um, it was more than I wanted to spend, but if I had just gotten one of them, it would have been 65. So meh, whatever. Um, but all of the instructions for this tell you to use one boot button for one Pi and the other boot button for the other. It only has one boot button. So I'm trying to figure out how to use an OTG cable with it and actually do the programming.
Hmm.
And I've never seen an OTG cable that was USB-C to USB-C, but maybe that's the trick, because I don't think I can do it plugging in the OTG cable backwards so that it goes in one of the normal USB-A host ports,
So,
because then it's going through the little, I mean, it has another 4-port USB um, not switch, hub on it. And I don't think I can go backwards through that with an OTG cable.
I wouldn't think so. The guy that made it, he doesn't have a
There's like 8 different versions,
okay.
and it is not clear.
Which version you've got?
Oh, I know what version I've got, but he says all of 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 program this way. Well, except that 2 only has a single RPI on it, and 6 is completely a different thing.
And
I don't know.
in other words,
Good
it's
luck.
it's the there are four PF2 tubes that can go into this thing.
Hmm.
We're not going to tell you what they are or which number they are. What's going on, Mr. Ray?
Nothing.
You look like you're traveling.
Where are you at?
I am north of Akron, Ohio,
I'm sorry.
called Talmadge, Ohio,
Yep.
the home of the Blue Devils.
Hmm. Been there.
And DX Engineering is here, which is a ham radio place. Oh, I was on vacation in Myrtle Beach last week. Sorry, but I absolutely forgot about you guys on Thursday. I wanted to be in the meeting, but I just last minute, like, oh, yeah, I
Oh
missed my meeting.
yeah. It's all right, Ray.
I missed it. I had bought a DJI drone because my wife at the last minute, she's like, hey, we're still going to go on vacation, but there's a hurricane coming. So we're probably going to be stuck inside most of the week. And by the way, Ray, you have to deliver a laser machine on the way to vacation, and you have to do calls on the way home. Yeah. That's a way to get somebody else to pay for my gas. Okay. So I was expecting to be locked in my hotel for hurricane. So I took 2 DJI drones and I took 3 3D printers and a whole bunch of electronics and laser stuff. And while I was there, I got on Craigslist and I bought a laptop, a really nice X360 or 360X, whatever, HP. Somebody, they cracked the screen, lost the power supply, and forgot the password. So instead of being $479, I get to buy it for $15.
Damn.
So
Nice.
Screen's going to set you back about 85.
the what?
The screen's going to set you back about 85.
It's just the touch screen portion. The actual display looks beautiful.
Yeah. Okay.
So no damage to the display and stuff. But I figure I might be able to go to one of these You Break I Fix companies and see if they'll just replace the touchscreen portion. I guess a digitizer, whatever they call it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But
you technically don't need it to make a laptop work.
it works great without it. So I already hit the little F11 button and reinstalled Windows. It's got a what is it? M.2 NVMe. It's got an NVMe 256 gigabyte hard drive. NVMe drive. 8 gigabyte of RAM. i5. Nice laptop. It's great for $15, but it's only like a 12-inch screen.
Oh, nice.
Nice for you.
I okay, I call this my crap top, but I carry this little guy everywhere. It fits in this old Walmart pistol bag. It's an 11.1-inch laptop. It has zero power. I mean, it's a Celeron N3504 or something,
Yep.
but it'll play YouTube videos for like 9 hours. Um, if I'm just using it as a terminal, it'll go 15 or 20. At one point, I had this thing hooked up to a phone system with a serial adapter monitoring the thing. And I went home and came back the next day and realized that the power strip I had it plugged into wasn't turned on. And it was still going at 30 hours. It is amazing for what I need a laptop for. But yeah, and also I bought two of them at $30 a piece at Micro Center.
Good deal.
And I was given a i5, I think it's got 8 cores. I think it actually has, I think it's actually a quad core, but it's got hyper threading. And I was given it because I don't know if I told you this story, Ray. My sister was having a garage sale, didn't have a clue about anything she was selling. She had a $900 laptop sitting there on a shelf, on a table, $15. Could not find the power supply for it. Kept telling everybody that it doesn't work. Wanted $15 for it. I got it home. I didn't really realize what it was. I knew it was an i7. I got it home, found a power supply, fired it up, put Linux on it. The only thing that didn't work was the camera. Get a phone call from my nephew. I think my mom sold my laptop, my work laptop.
Don't.
Yeah, she probably did.
Oops.
The problem is I've already wiped it out and put Linux on it, so whatever work stuff was there is gone. Well, I need it back because work's not going to be happy. Okay,
She
nope.
got really lucky that you're the one that bought it.
That's what I told him. I'm like, she had it out there for $15.
Yeah.
Anybody with half a brain that would have looked on the bottom and saw i7 on it would have
Yeah.
gone, here you go. I don't care what it actually is. It's $15.
I
It,
All
said,
I got's a 20. Thank you.
it was
yeah.
it's $200 in parts. I looked it up on eBay. It had a 2023 date code on it. And I was like, yeah, I will give you $15. I don't care what it is. I will give you $15 for this thing.
You mean you looked it up before you would even agree to $15?
No, I knew what the date code was because it was pretty obvious that the date code actually was something, something, something 2023. And I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah.
Um, I actually tried to talk her down because I'm cheap. She was like,
Damn, dude.
no,
That's a
if you like this, it's got to be worth $15. Okay, whatever. So my nephew, I took it back to him because it's the right thing to do. He hands me back the $15. He hands me this HP i5. He says, I don't really know much about it. It's my old laptop that blah, blah, blah. I don't think it works anymore. This is the one that mom was supposed to sell. Just take it. It's not a bad laptop. It's definitely not an i7, uh, but it's not a horrible laptop. It's probably the same laptop you've got without the touchscreen, you know, that you got for $15.
So we've been buying these Galvo laser machines, metal marking lasers, and they always come with a laser with a laptop. We sell them with a laptop. So I got to figure out if it's a because when the laptops leave China, they have to go deep inside them and take out the batteries and everything.
Really?
Yeah, it's just annoying. I mean, they really stripped the computer apart to get down at the CMOS battery because they've been told you're not allowed to ship any batteries because of the smart battery problem. So it it's annoying.
Yeah, I've noticed a couple of the microcontroller places that I was buying that had batteries uh inside. They've stopped shipping batteries too. I don't know why.
So basically, I've got these decent laptops, and the trick is you got to dig into them and put the battery back in.
Do they ship the battery as well? It's just in a different box or something?
It's going to be like a 2032 battery, not the like the big
Not the power battery.
main power battery. No, that's not the problem.
They've
The
they've
one
they've
that's taking apart is that little bitty CMOS battery.
they've stolen the real time clock battery,
Yeah,
the BIOS battery.
the BIOS battery.
That's crazy.
So I got to check them out and see if there's anything left inside them. Yeah,
Uh,
but decent
be
little computers.
be
So
careful. They might have put explosives in them for
Yeah.
you.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
with the pagers and the handy talkies.
Yeah.
So we got anybody else here today?
It's just us so far. Same thing happened last week though. Actually, I was here for a half hour before somebody showed up last week.
Wow. Who'd you talk to?
Myself. I'm really good at it.
Good conversation.
Nice.
That is my pickup from 3 a.m. AliExpress deals. $7 for this and reprogrammable. The software that comes with it, of course, is Windows only, and I don't trust it to save my life because I'm sure it's phoning back to China. So I found a website that has a script for Linux that reprograms it, and I've got three different things. I've got this one set up for Zoom, so I could turn the video off and back on. I can I can mute myself, and I should have just muted everybody, and I can't unmute everybody. Okay, well, I was supposed to be able to unmute everybody, but
It
that didn't
pops up a
work,
little window that says the host wants you to unmute.
does it?
Yep.
Okay. So, and then I've got this the potentiometer right now. It's just set up for as a scroll wheel. So the guy who wrote the software to reprogram it, um, he actually said you can't do what I just did because these are alt codes. He said that the 3x1 will, for whatever reason, will only accept one alt code to be programmed with the keypad, within the keypad. And I'm like, can't hurt to try it. So I did, and it worked. And they're hot swappable.
Nice.
They are
Now you
crappy.
can't put that back in without muting us.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, that one mutes me. That one mutes me. They're crappy reds, but they're hot swappable.
If you want, I've got some nice llama, um, oh shoot, holy llama tactiles that I really like.
Now this isn't it. This really wasn't a bad deal. I mean, I've got another profile set up, copy paste and cut, and another profile for something else that I don't remember. Oh, for the tablet PC to start all my stuff.
So are you programming that with QMK?
No, it's called CH57X keyboard tool. It was on GitHub,
Hmm.
and that refers to the weird
Chip.
controller that's inside of that. There's a CH57 something inside of that, which is not our. I when I first saw it, I thought maybe it might be have like an RP 2040 in it or something, but no, it's got a weird thing, and somebody spent the time. It supports his software supports the bigger ones, the 4x4s and the other ones, but he says it has some issues with the 3x1s. Doesn't seem to Mine seems to work just fine, so but that was my $7 I will try it 3 a.m. purchase. And this was my expensive purchase. Ray will like this. It's a little drive.
A little drive. I don't get it.
Little motor.
Little servo?
No, it's what do they call that?
White, yellow, red, black stepper motor.
No. Well, I've got it doing kind of like a stepper kind of thing, but it's a BC BCD
BLDC.
BLDC drive.
Okay.
So I've got it going. So this is the 360-degree mark right here. So I've got it going 360, 90, 180, 270, and then back to zero.
Cool.
Why? What's it doing for you?
I was playing with it to see how it worked. And I can slow it way down. It's current driven, and it's right now it's over the I2C bus, but it will take RS 485 input. So, and it's fairly fairly robust. It doesn't move too much when you pull on it. So of course, I bought two of them. So, and with the new printer, I'm going to print some wheels and I'm going to make a little robot out of this thing, and I'm going to control it over RS 485.
Why not I square C?
Um, because they both share the same I2C address, and I didn't see a good way to change that.
Okay.
And over RS-485, I can put 12 volts onto them or 16 volts onto them and get, I guess, get a little bit more torque out of them. But I've been waiting for these M5 stack. Announced these things like a year and a half ago. But I'm waiting for the adapter, the power board, the RS 485 board that'll plug into this. And this will become the controller. And then they've got a thing that has two. Uh, it splits it out so you could plug two things in to it. So it plugs into the back of that. That was my expensive toy for the thing.
That's the one Patty doesn't know about.
No, that's actually that's the second one Patty actually approved. I told her they were microcontrollers, but they're close enough.
I told you guys about my Bluetooth radio or Bluetooth speaker kit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Still working on that. Trying to get some better designs, better sounding music out of it. I bought a bunch of wood for building the kits and all that fun stuff. Yeah.
Cool.
I need to order parts from AliExpress for building up kits. Yay.
Have do you vacuum seal your filament, Ray,
Like after I've used it?
after you used it?
No, I just put it into a gallon size Ziploc bag.
I
Okay.
tossed desiccant in with it.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. If I have desiccant available. But yeah. And
Uh,
you bought filament, right?
do what?
I bought rolls of filament, like 180 rolls of filament. Yeah.
Yeah.
By PLA, PLA Plus, and PETG. In like white, gray, black, blue, yellow, orange, gold, copper, red, purple, silk blue.
The rainbow. He's got the rainbow.
It's a whole rainbow. Yeah.
Oh, I saw these baggies on AliExpress at like 3 a.m. and I went, there's no way they will actually work. Not with the crappy little vacuum pump that they give you. This thing it's actually pulled so hard that it's pulling the cardboard back in on itself. Actually, I'm going to order more of these baggies. They were I got five of them. I think it was $6 for five of them, and it came with the little vacuum pump.
You can get just the baggies 25 for $6, I think.
Yeah, it's not a bad deal. Of course, PLA doesn't isn't nearly as successful as some of the other. Yeah, I know. I can't speak.
It's all good.
So Ray, a thing I had wanted to ask you, do you have that plastic corrugated cardboard stuff in stock? I figured that'd be a thing you'd print. Oh, no, okay, never mind.
I mean, I
I got to
might,
get 2 sheets of it.
but there's a company closer to you called Queen City Polymers.
Mhm.
They have, I think they have that stuff all the time, but they're
Cool.
Doesn't
closer to you than me, anyway, put it that way.
Yeah, yeah, I know where they are.
That or you can just wait for election season, then steal all the signs later.
Now I don't want to have to spray paint a bunch of this stuff. I want to make sides for a little rolling cabinet.
what's that corrugated cardboard place that's in Middletown?
Well, I think that's cardboard. I want the plastic stuff that they
Yeah,
make signs out of.
The,
I'm
the box
fairly do what?
in stock box.
Might be. I thought they had the plastic stuff too.
Yeah.
No, it might. Hmm.
I know there's a couple of cardboard places around, but I thought they carried the plastic too.
Just about any sign shop is going to have it. You never know. Um, how big of a piece do you need?
2 4x8 sheets.
Two 4x8 sheets.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. You just go around your cart, or are you making a fort?
Um, I need 4 sides for it's a 15U rack. So I need 4 sides for that, top and the bottom, and I need to make an air filter holder underneath, just over 1 full sheet. But yeah, I'll probably break something, so might as well just get 2 from the get-go.
Okay.
Did you see that I got some new printers, Mr. Ray?
I saw some emails going back and forth between you guys. Like, there's a printer for $25. Of course, it's not available anymore. It's good to spur interest. And then I saw some stuff going back and forth, and then it said you bought one, and I was really curious of like, what the heck did you guys buy? You know, I just couldn't imagine Leroy spending more than $200 for a 3D printer.
Yeah, yeah. Leroy's insane. But Leroy loves this new printer.
You hit the lottery or something, man?
Patty Patty said that we had the money and I might as well get it while we had the money. It's really Patty's fault. It's
You're buying stuff from eBay and online at 3 a.m.
no.
and you're buying 3D printers and
The the printer came from Micro Center.
yeah.
There you go. Let's see if I could actually get this to share right. Load a little faster, website. Just a little. It's a Anycubic Cobra 3 with the Ace material box up to 8 colors.
Ooh. Ah.
Yeah, well, there it is, sort of. It is
That one's
very,
only got 4 colors.
yeah, you got to buy another Ace box, which costs as much as the damn printer. That's why I said I spent like $400 on this. This box is 300 and I don't know, 50. So I got the printer for like $90, something like that. But when I went up there to Micro Center, I looked at what they had clearanced out, and I got a BenQ X1 and a BenQ uh XL printer for like right at $100 for both of them. So I just couldn't pass them up. They were cheap.
You're killing me, man. I'm trying to get parts to repair my Ender V2 or Ender 3 V2. Freaking replacement control board like $40. These
Your
3D
guy
printers are like disposable.
your guy isn't doesn't have any more?
Yeah, I can buy, you know, um, return 3D printers, but if they're damaged, about 80% of the time, the damage is in the controller. So
Oh,
then it costs me $40 for a controller.
well, why can't you stick a like a different controller in them?
I could, but it's still $40 for a different controller.
Okay. I don't know. I haven't priced control boards.
It's
It's
stupid. I
it's
mean,
cheaper to buy the printer than it is the control board.
yes, killing me. I'm like, this is so stupid. Sorry.
Well, I mean that's why I bought the combo drive was because it was cheaper to buy it with the Ace multi pack deal than it was just to buy the printer. The printer's like $300 by itself, and it was like $369 for the combo.
Nice.
Yeah, so
At
and
one point, I got a controller board. It was based on an Atmega or Arduino Atmega, whatever, and it had 9 stepper motor controllers on it. Never did figure out why it had that many, but the whole thing, I think I paid like $20 for it with a bunch of the little driver boards. It was really cheap. And I started collecting other stuff, and I finally got all of the bits together to put it together, and I have no idea where that controller board went. I think one of my kids swiped it. I'm not sure. And now I can't find that board anymore.
the the Wanhu that I've got, the second Wanhu that I had that Patty finally made me do something with because it had been sitting on the kitchen table for forever. So I took it apart and it had basically an Arduino in it with it was a custom Arduino. Um, had five stepper motor drivers on it
Hmm.
and a couple of heater drivers on it. Um, it can't it couldn't have been more than $20 when it was new.
Yeah.
So you could get one of those you could get an Arduino Mega and get a ramps board and build something. The Marlin software's freely available.
Yeah.
Marlin G code. It's freely available to download and modify for your particular setup, and it works on the Arduinos. I pulled that board out and I started playing with it because it's basically just GPIO. It's basically just an Arduino at Mega. Uh, the 250
2560.
2560. That's what it is. So you could hack something together, Ray.
I
Ray
have better stuff to do with my life.
Ray's got Ray's got too many projects. He doesn't need to hack together printer
That's damn
boards.
straight. I got so much crap going on.
He got so many 3D printers. He doesn't need more.
I can do 16
That's
colors all at the same time.
that came off of the Cobra.
That's pretty nice.
That's using some of that rainbow filament. That's not it's PLA, but it kind of changed. I don't know if you could see it or not, but there is some stringing inside. But that took like 40 minutes to print. And it's not horrible. There's a couple of little spots that probably if I would spend a little time and work out, I could work out those little spots, but the overall quality,
Looks good.
yep. See, this one came off of the Ender 3, and side by side, there's really not a whole lot of difference.
One's
Well, that
more
makes me
blue.
feel better.
Well, I guarantee the Ender 3 was a lot slower, though. There they are. A
All right.
reflection. Actually, this one did better on the arches than the Ender did. But the Ender, I could read what's on the back of the Ender, the back of this one. So overall, it's about the same.
I couldn't tell if you're trying to poke at me or make me feel better. I don't know.
No, I'm not poking at you. I like the Enders. They're good printers. I just like this Anycubic because it's fast. When we start seeing a bunch of them come up uh, on the used market, you're going to have to start grabbing them up
Why is that?
because they're good printers.
Just to get the controllers out of them.
Just to get the controllers out of them. No,
I'm coming up to the point to where I'm going to start taking the controllers and resoldering components on them. I need stuff working.
how many do you need? How many aren't working?
I need like 5.
Oh,
That's for known issue printers that I have. So, and then I've got 16 printers that are still in, well, 14 printers are still in the box, sitting waiting for me to put them together. Yeah.
well, I've got 2 brand new printers sitting in the closet that I may put together. I may not. Now you're sideways, Ray.
Yeah, well, my wife was calling. I had to send her to voicemail.
Uh,
She knows what day it is.
It doesn't matter. She'll help me forget about it. She'll get me doing something else.
oh, by the
Whatever.
way, somebody up there needs their laser machine fixed, and while you're there, I know we
Yeah.
scheduled you to do something else, but it'll only take another day. Stay up there.
Well, I was feeling really bad this week. I felt just indigestion issues on Wednesday, so I stayed home. I told her like I'm not going to work. I'm staying home. She's like, but we have customers scheduled today. Like, well, I don't know what you're gonna do. So she tells me the next day, yesterday, she's like, yeah, you're just gonna have to work your entire Saturday and maybe part of Sunday, and then you'll be back to work again on Monday. I'm like, what the hell? There's no such thing as an actual sick day for me. So, whatever. So, uh, Steve, I see that it looks like you're at work.
Yep,
How's that going for you?
pretty good. I get credit for staying late and working, and well,
And
You get paid for it?
working.
oh yeah,
You paid for staying late and working?
yep. So it all works out. That's the bad thing about being salaried, though. Doesn't really matter. But I did reboot a server about 20 minutes ago that needed it.
Well, that's work
Yep.
ish.
Took a whole 18 seconds.
How could you tell it needed it?
Um, it was having some issues with the firewall, and and the software was relatively old. We updated it, and that should have taken care of it, but needed to restart to apply it. And it did fix it.
I've got two relatively nice servers that if you have any ideas for what we could use them for,
Plenty of ideas.
well, I'm thinking about putting them at the journal building.
Hmm.
I'll have electric and internet on them, so um, we could use them for whatever we want. And they're not mixed with any medical or anything that any other company is going to be restrictive about. Like, hey, can you use it for this or that? So, if you have any ideas what we could use them for, I'm open to suggestions.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they're designed to be web servers or database servers or pretty much anything you want.
I'd love them to be some good email servers. I hate paying for email. So,
Email's pretty straightforward. Um, I run Neth server to handle all of my email and file sharing and stuff. It works well. Um, it'll do all the sites you want. It's running postfix. It's all free. The issue is if you're running your own email server, you have um, no standing in the community. Your email is coming from a thing that nobody knows about, so it's far more likely to get blacklisted. So what I do is I forward outbound, my mail goes through Fuse servers. So I have public records that say my email comes from a Fuse server, and I've got Fuse's reputation behind that. So I don't get blocked for spam, but I don't know if they'll still do that. I was trying to help Barry set that up, and we couldn't get that to work with his. And I gave them a list of domains a long time ago that are still working. So, but there are ways around it.
When I
Okay.
set up an email server at the house, I mean, this was years ago, I had to use the outbound I had to use was the ISP,
Yeah.
but it worked. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. Inbound was fine. Outbound just had to look like it came from Time Warner at the time.
Right.
So, and Time Warner itself was rejecting other things. So you had to make it look like it came from Time Warner. Like your
Oh,
outbound
really?
ad. Yeah. They were unless you were, I guess, a corporate
Hmm.
customer, they were rejecting people running mail servers. But the way around it was to make it appear like it came from Time Warner.
Yeah. So I set up my 3 domains. Oh, shoot. Um, like 2017, 2018. And this is one of the things that I love about Cincinnati Bell. They screw up everything initially, but once they got it right, it just keeps working. Um, I haven't had to make any changes with any of my stuff since then. However, I'm concerned that relatively soon I probably will need to. And I've been looking at my DNS provider as a smart host. So I'll probably end up having to pay for outbound email at some point relatively soon.
Well, I understood the reason why was all the spammy email, and that
Hmm.
hasn't changed. So my guess is they've going to make it harder to run. I think this was back before, maybe not. Maybe there was secure email, the SSL connection to the email side.
Yeah.
Ah,
Well,
So
I can't remember. I can't remember if there was or not.
I've got
I got a couple
SSL.
things.
Do
Sorry, go
I?
ahead.
I got a couple things going on that is going to require website, email, some stuff like that. I want to take my Bluetooth speaker project and I want to grow it into like 5 products as a small company. And I'm going to be able to sell the Bluetooth speakers on eBay and Etsy. But I also want to have a website so that if somebody's curious, they can just look up the name and they should be able to find us online. So it'll be a very basic website, probably back to OpenCart and doing that. Oh, um, do you know if Ubiquity Unify, if um, their Dream Machine, if that's going to be able to host a website? I keep wanting to look this stuff up, but I got my phone is doing this stuff right here. So,
Probably.
1%. Not good.
Time to charge your tablet, Ray.
Time to charge the tablet.
Oh, So what I'm seeing for the Dream Machine is just that it's a gateway, an access, an AP and a gateway, not that it's got any compute power. So yeah, it probably wouldn't run a web server gracefully.
Hmm. I don't know.
It rounded up. That 1% was probably close to 0.5%. Great.
Or
Let's
did
try
you
again.
mean the Dream Machine Pro?
I'm not sure which one I have. I've got two of them.
One's rack mount, one's a desktop
I've
standing
got the
thing.
rack mount. I got two of the rack mount versions.
Okay, so that's the Dream Machine Pro.
And one of them, I've got a terabyte drive. The other one is going to have a 4 terabyte drive.
It looks like it's designed to be an NVR and not really a web server. I
So,
don't know. I don't know what it does for running applications.
so it's got a uh, get gate portal, for people to come in and go. It's got um, throttling for speeds for different guests. It's got some really neat stuff, and I thought for sure that it could host a website.
I mean,
I haven't
it
done it
looks
yet.
like you can customize the logon page,
Portal,
but
guest portal.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it will do anything beyond that. I'll look.
Okay. I appreciate you, Chit. 1%. Back up to one. Nope, that's dead. Dag on it. There we are. Come on. Come charge it. No. Well, I found out that this takes more than 1% to run my Amazon Fire tablet. Yeah. And my iPad is at my desk.
Another 3 a.m. purchase.
Yeah, I've got a couple of those.
Little tiny ones.
One, yeah, like 0.96 inch or so.
0.7.
Ah, I think mine are 128 by 128. I don't know. I haven't plugged them in yet.
Yeah, I got these and I was like, oh, that's real small. I don't think that'll work for what I wanted it for.
It'll make a
Because
pretty little meter.
but I did like the idea that it came with like a little magnifying glass.
Oh, cool.
This is just the display. I actually thought I was buying the one that had the ESP C3 in it. And no, I guess that's what you get at 3 a.m. for $4. A display that is completely not what I wanted. I will probably end up playing with it a little, but yeah, see, I thought the maker had screwed up and had put the price for the one with the ESP-C3 really cheap, and I was like, yes, 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 because they want like $11 a piece for them if they've got the processor in them,
Uh,
and $14 if you want it with the case.
yeah, that seems a little high.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And I can find a 3D printed STL file for the back of the case, but I can't find the actual case. So it's not like I could even save myself any money by I would have to buy the case from them.
We can design that case for you. Come on, man.
I haven't tried yet.
The Dream Machine Pro can run one site per device. They're self-hosted and can't host other sites.
This is the next thing I want to build. 3D printed trackball. I really like trackballs. This one's got 4 buttons and a scroll wheel. Nice little ball bearing under the scroll wheel. And it's just got a pile of teeny tiny little magnets and some Hall effect sensors for it. So it should feel nice. I was
Neat.
figuring I'd put a steel pellet down here so it would kind of click to positions. But this is the fellow that makes the software for the HID remapper I was talking about earlier. It's got
Okay.
some neat stuff. And oh, I was already there. There's a picture of all the different versions of this thing somewhere. Um, well, this might be it. Yeah. So these all use basically the same software. This one's designed so you can plug in 16 2-button game pads. This one does 8. This is the one I've got. This one is or wait, no, this one, I guess, is a stock Adafruit Feather. Neat toys. But this one is the one that lets you map mouse buttons to keyboard things and keyboard buttons to mouse things. And you can have separate mice. So one mouse middle button does one thing and the other one does something else.
Neat.
Oh, I can't stop sharing. How did it get way over on that screen? There we go.
I don't know. I didn't do it.
Well, I don't normally have my laptop open because the screen is high enough resolution it's hard to read. But this is my setup at work.
Right. I was looking at buying a Logitech trackball off of eBay, and now I don't see it, of course. This might be it. The M570.
One of the vertical ones?
Mm-mm. It's
Huh.
the track, I don't know. The trackpad is over on the side.
Mm-hmm.
It looks more like a mouse kind of deal. It's missing the dongle. It's cheap, but I
It'll
think,
run as wired. If it's the one I think it is, it's got a micro USB port on it, and you
does
can
it?
plug a cable in and use it as a wired mouse.
I don't think this one does. But it's the
Ah,
universal thing.
yeah,
So,
I've got a box of those receivers. I'll get you one. You can use Solar, SOLAAR, in Linux to reprogram them,
okay. That
which
was
you need to do. They're it's a variation of Bluetooth, and they need to be paired with the keyboard, their mouse, whatever.
right.
But one receiver can connect to multiple senders.
Oh, cool.
I think up to 6 devices total.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and buy that.
Where are
It's
you getting all this money from? You you just you didn't even haggle with it. You were just like, I'm gonna buy it. I'll go ahead and buy that.
It's a good mouse
it's
or trackball.
okay, I have to get approved first from the Patty committee, but she will approve it. I don't know where we got money. I'm not in charge. Actually, that's not true. I am in charge. And I got more money than I told her.
We have a my account, her account, and our account. And then there's another one that's just kind of for whatever, but we both got to agree on that one. But I'm allowed to spend my money. I
Yeah,
just
I
need to make sure I put enough into the our account to cover bills.
that's pretty much how ours works too. She's got an account, I've got an account. We've got the savings account, and then
Yeah.
we've got the community account. So, and the community account goes and pays bills and puts money in the savings.
One of my newfound in-laws has everything in one account and she doesn't have access to it. She has no idea how much money her husband makes, whether the bills are paid or anything. And I'm like, damn, that's scary.
My the middle kid, she her husband had kidney failure
Mhm.
and she didn't have access to any of the money. And that changed real fast because she was like, I gotta at least pay rent because they actually got kicked out of their apartment because she couldn't get to the money. She's like,
Ooh,
I've got the money, I just can't get it. So, and he was in the hospital and he was pretty zoned out, so he couldn't really tell her the PIN number or anything else.
yeah.
Hey, I gotta admit, I was one of those guys that, I just deposited my check into, direct deposit, and Carol would move it straight to another account, and she would have $400 a month. I said, that's really all I want. I said, I want to be able to use my credit card for my food and stuff. And then for my own purposes, whatever toys and whatever I want, I'd like it to have at least $400 a month. And that's all I got. And then I started doing like extra engineering work on the side. And I was having some of the customers just pay me directly. And all of a sudden, I was getting 18 to $25,000 a month that needed to be used for that business. And Carol took it. And we had to have a nice long conversation that nearly created a divorce. And yeah, I we don't do that no more.
Mm.
Not anymore. Everything is fully tracked, and she asks for permission, and I write checks, and yep.
I I I'm in charge of paying the bills, but I ask her if I want to go and buy something.
Yeah.
So she's got a good idea about what's in the account.
I get direct deposit from Rabbit, but I haven't even pulled any money from that account in over a year. I'm kind of curious how much money's in there. I don't know. So I don't know.
Ray's so Ray's got so much doesn't have any idea.
I, well, I mean, I live this job, so almost everything just
It's
goes through the one credit card, and we make sure it gets paid, and all the employees get paid, and
I I
and
had
bottom.
I had a buddy who he actually he ended up getting a divorce, but he actually thought everything was fine. And one day he went and checked his bank account and it was completely empty. He had been depositing and depositing, and his wife had just left enough money to pay the bills, but everything else was gone.
That's not
Was
good.
And
was she siphoning it to somewhere else,
yeah,
like
yeah,
planning to
yeah,
leaving?
yeah. He found out that she had taken probably 99% of it and put it into two separate bank accounts and started spreading that out over more bank accounts so that it was going to be harder for him to find it.
Yeah, there was a friend of mine that his wife at the time was basically building up her escape plan. And when because he was like, "Hey, I want to spend $3,000. It's a big item, so I want to go talk to my wife about it." He went and looked at his account, and there's like nothing there. And he asked her, like, "Where's it at?" And we have to have money. I can look at what we've been spending for the past 6 months, and it's nothing compared to what money should be in there. Where's this money at? And she finally came out and admitted that, hey, I've been saving this money in case we get separated. I was
Yep.
like, well, we're not separated and we won't be so long as we have a mutual understanding about money. And it went big real fast.
But
But
my friend, she had a really good job. She was making good money. He has a really good job. He was making good money. And they have, well, she has a lot to show for it. He has almost nothing to show for it. She uh she wanted to take his natural daughter and of course their two sons and the step kids. She wanted all of them. She wanted all the kids.
That ain't right.
Yeah, well, he fought her on that, of course, but he fought her on a bunch of stuff. I'm not real sure what it all ended up being, but so he had a kid from a previous marriage that lived with him, and then she had I think two kids that lived with him, and then they had two kids together. So she wanted all the kids. I'm not real sure why.
Some days I think I might be okay with that.
Well, yeah, yep. So, um, we're in person again next week.
Yay.
It's almost running out of time. Do you want me to bring the printer next week? Do you
Um,
do you
sure.
want that?
Yeah.
I could do that. I will bring the printer and myself and I'll be happy.
You want to trade for a hurricane or hurricane or whatever?
A
That thing
hurricane?
I got?
Oh, that other printer?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Just thought I'd ask.
No. 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 I that would not make Patty happy if more printers came into this house.
I will be in California next week.
What part?
I'm sorry.
I will be in California next week.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
What part of California?
I think it's near San Diego.
Okay.
Los Angeles and San Diego, both.
Yeah, that's just kind
Um,
of all one long big city.
It's
I used to live in San Clemente.
yeah.
It was interesting. That was 85, I think. I was
wow.
making $18 an hour at Radio Shack in
Holy crap.
1985.
That's
Yeah,
that's really good money in 85.
not in California.
Not in California. Oh, okay.
I thought it was. And then I had to go buy milk and stuff and was like, what the hell? What about all these happy cows?
Wow.
Lived in San Clemente, lived in, um, oh, shoot, Ojai. That was fun. That was a lot of fun, actually.
I I helped my ex-wife's future husband move back to California when we were 20 years ago, 25 years ago, and he lived in LA, and I could not wait to get the hell out of LA. I
Yep.
got there. He would say, "Let's go sightseeing." I'm like, "No, I'm going home. I am done." You
Yeah. Seen the sights. Don't
know,
like them.
I had I did not like LA. I didn't like LA County. I didn't like LA. Didn't like any part of it.
Yeah, I can't imagine what it's like now.
But I mean, it was a good trip. We went sightseeing on the way out, various and sundry places, but God, by the time I got to California, I was done. I was ready to go. And then the traffic, and I was like, "Yep, I'm really done. I would need to get the hell out of California." So, okay,
Yeah,
it's after 1, and I know my food's coming, so I will hopefully see everybody um next week,
I'll be there.
and maybe Ray will show up or not. He'll be in that
Maybe.
he'll be in that different time zone, so he's got to remember.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys later.
Good night.
Later.